Wheel should be a whole bunch of pure stocks pouring up over the pit road, and here they come, leading them out, who will be near the front and sharing the front row. The pole sitter coming over the top now in the 80. That is our national anthem singer, Aaliyah Tacey, out of Keene, New Hampshire. Aaliyah Tacey behind the wheel of the Winchester Metalworks machine. Next to her will be the 1X for Carlos Grenier out of Charlestown, New Hampshire, the JB trucking machine. Row number 2 will find Colton Martin out of Claremont, multiple-time winner here this season. Colton will be flanked by last week's winner, Dominic Stafford, out of Millers Falls, Massachusetts. Dominic in the 56 Pioneer Stone, Seals, and Sen excavating race car. Next on the grid, she's already had a victory here in the 20 from Chelsea, Vermont. That's Andrea St. Amour in the Continental Central Vermont Micro Weld entry. Next to her in the 7Z, that's the other part of the Zielinski duo here. Zachary Zielinski in the Neil Zielinski electrician entry. Next row back in the 38. That'll be Jim Rhodes out of Springfield, New Hampshire, starting on the inside of row 4. On the outside of row 4, just made the jump a week ago up to pure stocks from the Young Guns. Adrian Smith out of Unity, New Hampshire, looked pretty good in his qualifying race. That's the number 97. Starting next on the grid in the 11, that'll be Tim Taft out of Springfield, Vermont. Taft, first-year driver here at Monadnock. Next to him, Chris Chambers out of Chelsea, Vermont in the 20V. Chambers looking for a win. He's had a championship up north in the R&R Rentals entry. Next on the grid will be Chris Davis, former champion and hoping to be champion again from Winchester, New Hampshire in the Mon Ami Fine Jewelry entry. Chris Davis in car 16. The 12th starter will be the 95 for C.J. Johnson in the Demco Autobody Laser Automotive machine. Starting 13th on the field in car 21, that's Aaron Blanchard from Hinsdale, New Hampshire. Next on the grid will be the 14 of Ricky Melcher from Claremont, New Hampshire, car number 12. That's your field. 25 laps is the distance. They're getting themselves wound up. Looks like Melcher didn't make it out. Everybody else is there, working their way toward the Serve Pro restart zone. They're in the zone. They're looking for the green. They're off. Quickly on the gas. Aaliyah Tacey inside, jumping out ahead. It's Carlos Grenier jamming it hard and taking it down into turn 1 in the high groove. Everybody else kind of running the outside. Aaliyah Tacey doing the best to wheel that car number 80 and keep herself in line and out of the way. Look out, trouble for Dominic Stafford. Everybody misses him as he spins around, and will we get a caution here? Everybody's still under power. The caution is out, the lap is not. We may count that lap. He's got to drive across the start-finish line and trip the clock. He does. Looks like we've got one lap in the books. We'll watch that, watch the scoreboard. It's not official till it's official.
It's got to be official for sure. Dominic coming off a dominating win last week here at the High Banks Monadnock Speedway. Was so excited in victory lane, talking to Kevin Bazan for sure. This team works hard, and they work hard all the time. They got a sponsor in Pioneer Stone Seal, right next door neighbor to them in the Millers Falls, Mass area. Stafford gonna go to the high side, maybe to have a look, not a look-see.
Not that they can tell them what's going on, because these kids don't run with mirrors and they don't run with radios other than the one that they have to listen to.
It looks like the 20's getting a penalty for her assistance in helping Mr. Stafford.
Well, tough break for our recent winner 2 weeks ago. So recent winners together there at the back now. 56 is going to the pits apparently. Making a quick run around. We'll have to wait and see whether that transpires into anything or not. Oh, he's being told he's tailed. I guess he thought perhaps he was getting his spot back, but that's never the case if you're the cause of the caution. It doesn't matter. Most of the time, 99.999% of the time, you will be in the back with the perpetrator, as the case may be. So Dominic's got to hustle up there and sit up back there with Andrea. That makes things more interesting with 1 lap out of 25 in the books.
Andrea's a super competitor. She's going to pedal that 20 car back to the front. That's for sure. An early race penalty. The distance is 25 laps for our pure stocks tonight. And look at where Adrian Smith is. The 97, the young gun, moved up to pure stocks. We knew the 97 has been super fast here at the High Banks. Sitting in the 5th spot. Field being getting called. Double up and let's roll.
All right, set to go green again. Chris Horton says next time in the restart zone, Servpro's waiting to serve up another victory for somebody. Be nice to see him go now from green to checkers. Nice clean racing, a lot of close action, and no cautions. Never the case. Carlos Grenier, Aaliyah Tacey, Colton Martin, and Zach Zielinski with Adrian Smith. Here's the green. Here we go. And quickly off the mark goes Grenier with Colton Martin right on his bumper. Adrian Smith and Aaliyah Tacey fighting it out for 3rd and 4th. 5th is Chris Davis. He moves up. Zach Zielinski and C.J. Johnson squeeze underneath the 80. And at the stripe, it'll be Grenier, your leader, Martin 2nd, and Smith 3rd. Down the back stretch. CJ, the only one having a little trouble back there, and Dominic Stafford is way off the pace after being so dominant last week. CJ slowing down. Dominic, something wrong with that car as a result of his spin out early in the race here. Grenier, Holt, Colton, Carlos Colton, Adrian and Chris, Zach and Andrea. Check that. Chris Chambers now up in the 6th spot. Andrea up to 7th. Aaliyah Tacey back to 8th. Dominic Stafford, that motor does not sound good at all.
C.J. Johnson also pulls off. Hope he's just got a tire down or something maybe after that incident of the slide. But he's taking the 95 to the pits.
He's had trouble with that car since he brought it out this year. I'm sure he's got a lot of nice things to say about it right now. Dominic, after winning last week, gets the passing flag as the leaders come across the stripe. Whoa, hang on, Aaliyah Tacey fighting that power steering. She's going to keep it going. Here comes Dominic. Here come the leaders. This could be interesting. She's trying to get up to speed. Dom goes over the speed humps. Passing flag. The leaders squeeze by. Aaliyah pulls in behind Dominic for the moment. He's trying to get up to speed, not going anywhere with it. Hang on. Chris Davis kind of all over the place, but staying in 4th place. Zach in 5th. Then it's Chambers, St. Amour, Stafford, Tacey, Rhodes, and Blanchard. Colton Martin is known for biding his time. If he knows he's got the car, he'll just sit there for a while until he sees an opportunity. And he and Carlos are buddies. They park next to each other in the pits. So it's not like it's a rivalry that breeds any kind of nastiness. They are bosom buddies in the pits. They sit and work together. Here comes Adrian Smith, the newcomer in the pure stocks. Wouldn't know he just came out of the young guns, running like he's been there for a long time. Halfway mark coming up in a lap or two. We're at 25 for the distance. Chris Davis, I think, just biding his time as well. Points is what matters. Davis now slides underneath Smith. The battle's going to be for third spot. No, not this time. Adrian drops down and slams the door. Davis gave him a little love tap coming off of turn 2. Adrian Smith looks inside. Colton gets him sideways, forces himself up the banking, got backed into the 16, and Smith is back to 4th. It's Grenier, Martin, Davis now, Smith, Chambers, Zielinski, and St. Amour. Passing flag for Dominic Stafford. Have to check with him at the beginning of the races next week and see just why that car started to slow up as much as it has, but he's staying out there for the points. Adrian coming back at you, but Chris Davis is putting some pressure on Colton Martin now. They cross the stripe with 10 laps to go. 10 to go now out of this 25. Again, Colton Martin just biding his time. Chris Davis may be a better biter. Rides up a little bit. I think he felt Adrian Smith there, and Smith had to back out of it. St. Amour now gets underneath Zach Zielinski. His car's starting to fade here. Keep an eye on your leaders. Grenier, Martin, Davis, and Smith. Here comes Chambers. Any night, you never know. One night you're the champ, the next night you're the chump. Chambers closing in on the lead 5. Every lap picks up another half a car length. Grenier backing off, showing a little bit of that lean, mean exhaust, and then getting back on it to keep Colton Martin back there. Here comes Adrian Smith. Couldn't find any room. Trying to put pressure on Davis. Not someone that's going to be easily pressured. Working down into turn 1 again. The 4 cars just stay in line. No one daring to quite make a move. We'll see what's going to happen in the final 5 as they come down here to get the signal from Chris Horton. 5 laps to go.
5 laps remain. Carlos Grenier stretching away, trying to get away from Colton Martin in the 4. Chris Davis in 3rd spot. Adrian Smith doing a great job in 4th. And Chris Chambers, after the heat race episode, is your 5th place spot. Colton Martin looks low this time by. Grenier and your leaders come up on lap traffic. Aiden Smith in a 97 swings it out to the right side. Takes it out to the right side, not going to make it stick. Middle in the corner. Now here comes Colton Martin getting the pressure from Chris Davis. Colton Martin trying to hang on to P2. And Adrian Smith doing a great job working the inside of the 16 of Chris Davis. Grenier comes down the backstretch. Looks through turns 3 and 4. Leaders got 1 lap to change. Grenier stays on the juice. Martin, the ever opportunist. He's called the closer for a reason. In the 4, Adrian White, gets Chris Davis sideways. Coming to the stripe, it's Grenier with the win. Colton Martin, Chris Davis. The 97 of Adrian Smith, the 20 of Chris Chambers, the 20 Vermont of Andrea St. Amour, Zach Zielinski, Jim Rhodes, Blanchard, Tacey, and the 56 of Dominic Stafford will round out your field.